You should start the day as the first person that compliments you. Don't wait for other people to do it, because you get to decide that you're beautiful. No, you shouldn't have to wait for someone else to tell you you're beautiful, because you are. What's up, my little love buckets? Welcome back to another episode of the JD Remedy. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I am so happy you guys are here. Whoa, let me turn down this recording volume because it is peaking. We are finally having some sunshine in Perth. It really amazes me what sunshine actually does for your mental health and your overall happiness. Isn't it just so weird that the weather affects your mood? Or do you allow it to let it affect your mood? Ooh, getting deep real quick. I've actually been sick the last few days. Ugh, just makes you feel shit physically, mentally, but I'm turning a corner today, thank God, because this gal has shit to do, people to see, lives to change, all that shit. So I am preparing myself for a very expensive few months coming up. It's coming into that warmer weather, which means festival weather, summer gigs, all that stuff. And I've already looked at my calendar and all of the events that have started promoting themselves. And literally it's like every fucking weekend. And mentally, I'm like, I'm probably going to need a break. But also I have really bad FOMO with music events like festivals and pop-up bars and all that stuff. Major FOMO, because music is my happy place, and festivals, I love dressing up, I love dancing, I just love music. So every time I can't go, I get super sad. I did tell myself that I would take a year off from all of that stuff to, put some work and time and money into my business. And I am doing that. However, I don't know, YOLO, you only live once. And I feel like I'm still putting time and effort and money into my business, but I also want to fucking live my best life. I'm nearly 30, so I'm going to spend this time doing things that my body probably will not be able to do in the next 10 years. So I think now's a good time. Now's a good time to get out there, have a little boogie, and just live my best life. So I've decided I can have both, and I don't want to punish myself and take my happiness away. I really thought about it. So why not do both? What's that advert with the girl where she's choosing between the two tacos, like the hard shell, soft shell, and she says like the Mexican saying for why not do both. Insert that here. Anyway, I hope you guys are all having a beautiful week. I've been having so many DMs with you beautiful ladies. I was going to say having beautiful DMs in my DMs, but that's what a DM is. Oh my God. Having beautiful conversations with you guys in my DMs, because a lot of people are reaching out. And as I always ask for, everyone messages me after the episode goes live and says, oh my God, this part resonated with me. This is so true. Totally can relate. I went through something similar. Whatever it is, please tell me. I love hearing that after the episodes go live. It's why I put them out there. It's why I'm so honest. It's why I'm authentic, because I want you guys to feel like you're not alone in this. It's like a little gal pal chat that we've got going on here, except I'm talking to myself, but I'm really talking to you guys. So any way that it makes you feel, please let me know, because I love hearing with it. I love connecting. I love, tell me all about your life. Tell me all your problems. What happened in your childhood. Go crazy. So that's my little update. Not a lot is happening, just feeling happier and less sick now that the sun is shining, and mentally and financially preparing for festival season. So let's get into today's episode. Okay, I really, really want to speak about this topic today because I keep seeing stuff pop up. And obviously I grew up through the 90s and early 2000s versus now in 2022, the contrast in the tabloids and the way that women are perceived and the body image body positivity movement and things like that. And I just wanted to talk about the contrast between the two and how far it's come. And it kind of ties in with like cancel culture, just the different mindset that people had back then versus now, and like what's okay to say, what's not okay to say, what triggers people now, and what people really didn't give a fuck about back then. And also the positive around that is people obviously are a lot more open-minded now, and there's less judgment and more support and community feel around certain topics that people talk about. And staying on topic for, looks and beauty and body confidence is I keep thinking about tabloids in particular. Like back then it was definitely magazines. I didn't really have social media or anything like that. But back then, on the front cover, it was always the unflattering photos and unflattering angles. Because obviously you don't get to choose what photos are taken with the paparazzi. They just take them at your worst moments and then make money from it. So I remember distinctly in magazines when you're waiting in the Woolies line at the checkout, there's all these different magazines with the same person plastered all over from different angles at the same vacation. It would be like Britney Spears, mostly Britney Spears, or anyone from that time, the idols in the public eye. It was always them in bikinis with cellulite and like the weight around their stomach and all normal fucking things that human beings have on their body, and just absolutely bashed in the media and being told they were fat. And there were actually photos of really healthy, skinny people on the magazines, and they were saying, so-and-so puts on weight and so-and-so adds a few kilos or is going off the rails, or they just blamed the way that their body looked at the time for mental health and just really tried to paint the picture that wasn't normal to look like that, even though a lot of them were skinny and healthy. And I think that drove a lot of how we feel now, like the millennials, to all of these body issues. Because I think Selena Gomez went on, I think it was Ellen or maybe Jimmy Fallon, one of those, and they had a photo of her up on the screen, and she said this was actually a massive turning point for my confidence because I thought it looked great. And she did. She looked fantastic in this bikini in the ocean. Someone took a photo of her, and the tabloids came out and said Selena puts on something around like her putting on weight and having a quote unquote fat or overweight body, and she looked incredible. And she said she looked at that photo and she was like, am I actually fat? And she like spiraled and went into this mindset that I need to lose weight. Like I need to do all this dramatic stuff to lose weight. But I thought I was skinny. And imagine how many young girls at the checkout with their parents or just going off to school or whatever it is, saw those magazines of fit and healthy people. And that started their mindset of, oh my God, if they think she's overweight, like, look at my body. Or it started that ideology and thought process of I have to be skinny to fit in, or I have to be skinny to fit everybody else's approval and just be worth something in this world. And we talked about it on last week's episode with Yana around the concept of what even is skinny. Like every single person has different opinions. Like that's just how we are all extremely different. We have our own mind, our own opinion, our own thought process, our own emotions, our own belief system. So like, why is one person's opinion what matters? Because it could be completely different to the person sitting next to them. Like who took those photos enough to go, oh, she looks really bad. In my opinion, I'm snapping this photo of Selena Gomez in her bikini. That's bad enough, in my opinion, to put on a cover. And then I don't know if it's the same people that take the photo or it was a journalist or whoever wrote the words in the magazine on the title in the article to then go, Selena is overweight. To then a little fucking girl or anyone, a mum even, looking at that cover going, yeah, they're right. Like, I look like that, or I look even bigger than that, or even smaller than that. I better lose weight, or I better stop eating to put on weight. Otherwise I'll look like that photo. And it just set in tone all those years ago what society's beauty standards were. And it's interesting. This is what reminded me of it the other day. I think when you're on Snapchat, if you watch stories, a lot of like those news outlets or media outlets put their information on Snapchat. It's like TMZ kind of. They have like little snippets of photos and stuff like that. And all of the photos were positive. Like, look how great Megan Thee Stallion looks in this dress. I think they just had the MTV Music Awards. So I was watching all of like the dresses and the women. And it was all really positive, really body confident. She looked great. Her hair looks incredible. Like, look at her body. The dress looks fantastic on her. And I noticed I see that more often than not, even in the magazines now. I can't believe we still have magazines, to be fair. But the dusty ones, the magazines full of dust in the Woolies checkout, I think most of them are bloody like fights with the royal family. And what I mean is, like, there's not a lot about putting women down and putting people down for the way they look. And I don't know if it's because I don't think a law passed. Definitely not. No one fucking stops the paparazzi from doing anything, but it's society. Like, you put out what sells. And at the time, for whatever reason, image and beauty standards and all that shit sold really well. And now, because there's this movement, I want to talk about the word movement, but there's this movement around, body positivity and you're perfect the way you are, and not to judge people. Like, back then, if you bullied someone about the way they looked, people would go crazy. I mean, they still do, but now you've got those comments calling out the bully. Like, that's disgusting. I can't believe you would say that. You're a horrible person. You're insecure. Like, and they'll just go nuts at the bully, because the quote unquote movement, or the proper thing to do these days, is to not be a fucking asshole, not judge people. So this movement, I don't know when it started. I don't know when we changed from fucking tearing people down about the way they looked and making them feel insecure to building people up. I really can't put my finger on it where it changed. It's definitely the help of Gen Z, like this new generation of, that feels so weird to say new generation, like I'm 100 years old or something. But honestly, this new Gen Z generation that is all about body positivity and confidence, and that's where a lot of mental health is okay to talk about. Like, all the LGBTQ stuff is more welcome and okay to talk about. So I think it's hard to pinpoint who started it and when. Like, who was the person that decided it was okay to beat people down, but who were the people that decided that, fuck that, we're not going to take that anymore? Because all you see on magazines now is like fit and healthy people, and they talk about how great they look. But I've also noticed some of the magazines do have weight loss and stuff like that. And I'm aware from watching documentaries and other people talk about it listen to other people talk about it on podcasts about all the fad stuff they learned growing up. And I really want to talk about, your environment and your limiting beliefs and what belief systems you actually grew up with. Because if you grew up with a mom that was constantly having those meal replacement shakes, or constantly fixated on her body weight or the way that she looked, you grew up with that subconsciously. Like, you grew up always watching your mom watch her body and fixate on her weight. If that's something you grew up with, that's always going to be in the back of your mind. And for us, like, growing up in the era of magazines having them tear down women about the way they looked, yes, we're going to carry those ideologies with us, right? And if that's what we're being taught from the media from around the world, people pick up on that and bring it into their own reality. Like they start bullying people at school. They start, like, especially boys, if young boys saw that on a magazine, I don't know if this actually happens, but if they saw a certain body standard or beauty standard on a magazine or on the television or a movie that they watched, but the females that they see in real life don't look that great, it's like, that's how they get bullied. You don't look like what I've seen on TV, so you must be ugly, or you must not be good enough, you're fat, you know? So definitely the environment that you grew up in and what you surrounded yourself with forms that idea of what you think beautiful is and what you think is fit and healthy. And this is why those pages that preach body confidence are so well received now, because people are just sick and tired of trying to fit into a certain idea of beauty, because no one has the same body unless you have the same surgeon, right? But still, no one is born the same way. I just can't wrap my head around the fact that people want to look the same as what they see on Instagram. Like, why wouldn't you just want to stand out and look like yourself? Because everybody is unique in a certain way for a certain reason. If we were all meant to look the same, we would all just be born looking the same, you know? And it just really hurts my heart that we still have younger people, or maybe it's the millennial generation, you know, looking at Instagram pages or Instagram models or influencers or celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Kylie. We are watching them go through their own insecurities. Like Kim Kardashian gets called out all the time for photoshopping. Kylie Jenner has had so much done to her body because she was bullied about her lips, and that's where it all started. Like, especially with that much public eye on you, criticizing you the way you look. Like, look at Khloe Kardashian. If you are bullied and criticized for the way you look, of course you're going to want to change it. But now that Kim Kardashian always edits her photos in Photoshop, and you know, she's obsessed with looking beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that. I feel bad that they have to live up to this fucking standard that everybody puts them on a pedestal with the way they look. And imagine that mindset of hers, trying to keep up with everybody's ideas of the way that she should look. But now we're watching her and Kylie and Khloe go through this massive transformation of surgery and Photoshop. Like, they've got huge teams behind them that Photoshop. They've got the money to go to surgery. Whereas these young girls that are like, I want to look like Kim Kardashian, will never look like Kim Kardashian. One, because you are not Kim Kardashian. You don't have her fucking DNA or genetics. You're not her ethnicity. But also, we don't have that kind of money to look like that. You know, they probably get a facial every day and massages and all this hair treatment. Like, they look fucking stunning. Don't get me right. Like, I would love to look like the photos that they put out there. But it's really unfortunate that because they've been beaten down so much mentally and put on a pedestal, they are now portraying the lesson that you have to change yourself to look a certain way. And it's no fault of their own. We are watching before our eyes them be insecure. They are not confident with the way they look because they have to keep changing the way they look. And I'm not fucking surprised with the amount of shit that they get online and the pressure and everything, all the comments, all the nasty comments, all the criticism. Like, it's really sad. But my next thing, or what I'm trying to work on, is how do you stop that? How do you either stop it early enough in teenagers or young adults? And all it is your mindset. 100% it is your mindset. You can change your body as much as you like. And I spoke about this in How to Be Confident, my episode. You can change your body as much as you like, but unless you change your mind, you will see yourself the same way. You will always try to fix something and it will never be good enough, because your mind, your belief system is, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm not good enough. I have to change myself to look better. I have to change myself for someone to love me. Whatever your belief system is, it will always be there in your core unless you change it. So we need to get the message out, spread it, that you need to work on the stuff that matters, the mindset, the core beliefs, what you grew up with. Like, I can eliminate all of that. I do it with my clients, you know, but work on yourself first rather than constantly changing stuff externally, because you'll never feel good enough. And everybody deserves to feel confident and good in their own skin. So that's all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to do a short one today because I had this great idea and I think it's important that we talk about it. So next time you're scrolling on Instagram and you find yourself comparing the way that you look like with what you see online, just stop and think, why don't you like that part about yourself? And why do you want to change it? And why do you want to look like what you've seen? You know, is it something that someone said to you? Were you bullied? Are you comparing yourself to an influencer that's probably photoshopped? And, you know, are you comparing yourself to people that have fucking surgery? Like, just all I'm asking is stop and take a breath and think. Think. What's going on for you? And where does it come from? That's it. Slow the process. And just think, I think just being more mindful of what's going on for you and why you don't feel good and why you don't feel confident and why you want to change things about yourself. You know, obviously I am all for filters. I'm all for changing yourself if that's going to make you happy, but I promise that happiness will be temporary. You know, it's a quick Band-Aid fix. So really just think about it. Be more mindful when you're scrolling. Be more mindful when, you know, you criticize yourself and you're not kind to yourself. You should start the day as the first person that compliments you. Don't wait for other people to do it. Wake up in the morning and say something nice, or say something in your mind when you wake up. Do some journaling in the morning. You are the first person that compliments you because you get to decide that you're beautiful. No, you shouldn't have to wait for someone else to tell you you're beautiful, because you are. And you deserve to hear it from yourself first, because the way that you treat yourself is what you're teaching other people to say about you, to think about you, and the way that they treat you. So you set the fucking standard, you set the rules, and tell yourself you're a bad bitch. Okay? And if you need help with this, if it's easier said than done, you say, Jade, where the fuck do I even begin with this? Like, I would love to wake up every morning and say I'm beautiful, but I'd be lying. You know, if you're in that mindset and you need help, never fear. Jade is here. You know where to find me. Jump on my Instagram, Jade Delpup Coaching. It'll be in the description of this episode, my love. And I have a link in there to book a free coaching session. So if you want to air some shit out, if you need some support, if you need a fucking hype girl in your corner, I'm your gal. I'm your gal. But also, just follow my page. There's heaps of free self-love value stuff in there. So go nuts. And I also have a Facebook group as well. Only for the gals. We like to connect in there, and I post all the episodes in there. So if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about from this topic, it'll be in the group. Okay? I hope to see you online. Connect. Send me some love. Send me some feedback for this episode. And if you need anything, let me know. I hope you have a great day. Love you. Bye.